unclean. And if so, if you were infected, there's the high probability that you've infected your children and your spouse and your friends and everybody who's come in contact with you, everybody who's dear to you. And you could be a conduit to give them a miserable death. And they at first will be horrified for you and then horrified of you. And you're cut off from your family and society, others under the same curse. You're isolated physically, emotionally, We know a tiny bit about that from COVID, but not like this. And you must stay at least 125 feet from anybody. And if anybody approaches you, you must yell out in a loud voice, "Unclean, unclean, unclean," drawing attention to your plight, if the plight itself weren't bad enough. Justly punished. Few have any compassion. Most view you with fear and repulsion. Slowly rot away and perhaps be grossly disfigured in your slow walk to death. I cannot imagine it. This is the pitiful state these 10 are in by the road as the Lord, our Lord, passes by. Now somehow you have heard stories. I imagine it was a mother or a father, a child, who heard about his healings, his miracles, and they go at some distance and yell to you and tell you about this man called Jesus. And you and your fellow lepers talk about you want to know more. And so this same person, or persons perhaps, tell you, we hear Jesus is on his way from Galilee to Jerusalem. You go with your band of 9, you go seeking this holy man, seeking healing, seeking Jesus. And lo and behold, you encounter Jesus. Now there's a difference between seeking Jesus and encountering Jesus, but you encounter Jesus. And to your great joy, you see him and you call out in desperation. You have nowhere else to turn. And Jesus makes no welcoming salutation. He gives you no words of compassion or pity. None. But he gives you instructions. Instructions on what you are to do. Christ gave you a task. Go and show yourself to the priest. Now, you've done that once, and it didn't turn out too good. But for some reason, you act. You act. You put your faith in this man called Jesus, and you act in faith without fully understanding. And there is no faith without doubt. There is no faith without some doubt. It's impossible for mere humans to completely understand our Lord. So that you act in faith. And they went. And as they went, as they acted on Christ's instructions, as they obeyed, in that process, they were cleansed. And you looked with astonishment at your hands, and the lesions are gone. And you pull up your cloak, and your legs are clean and new and whole. You've been healed. Your death sentence is lifted, and you now have received new life. And you can be reunited with all those that you love, and feel the human embrace of someone who cares. Someone you hold so dear. Someone who holds you dear rather than in scorn. This great curse hanging over you is lifted. And in your joy and gratitude, you leave the 9 who think first of holding